So we're on 215, but this is the bad version of 85 when Biff goes back.
Yes. Right. And this is like...
All right, hey everybody. It is time once again for the all-new, brand-new look XWF podcast. Just like last time, I am your friend, everybody's friend, Loverboy Vinnie Lane. Got the same supporting cast of characters with me here together. Got the man with the plan from across the pond, my boy Gator. Say hello, Gator.
Hello, I'm British TK.
British TK it is. We got the notorious one, Ned Kaye, or otherwise known as End Cuck in the Morning. Say hello, Ned.
Hello, Ned. I'm Texas Maverick.
I knew you were going to be the one to actually say hi, Ned. I knew that was going to happen.
Oh, thank you.
And of course, last but never ever least, my waifu, the Woo Maverick.
What's up, bitches?
Say hello, Maverick.
How are you doing, Vinnie?
You sounded sad. I hope you're not sad.
I'm just tired.
Okay, good. Well, hope not too tired because we got a whole bunch of Relentless to go through. Just came off of the biggest show of the year. We just spent some time together last week. Now we're going to reconnoiter and do the post-mortem autopsy on Relentless. All 3 nights, go through each match, the results, and our thoughts going forward. I'm pretty hyped for it. How about y'all?
Nothing like a good pay-per-view as a pick-me-up, you know?
Yeah.
It does. It's like a little key bump. It just hypes you right up.
Exactly.
It's Relentless. It's our biggest show of the year. It gets everybody hyped up, and even better, we start off night 1, match 1 with Vinny's fetish, and I think that's a great thing. I think it's incredibly inclusive.
Love the minis. So, we have the mini battle royal there featuring such stars as Pebbles, Chumma the Clown, El Dodecahedron, and Mini Morbid. But the winner of the match would be none of those people, as it was between Mini Morbid and eventual winner Little Caesar.
Little Caesar.
Bullshit.
Came out of nowhere.
I was honestly taken by surprise. Honestly, like just imagining Mini Morbid getting unceremoniously dumped out of the ring while Quentin Quinn was still talking.
Wasn't that terrible? Like, I mean, you never want to see an 8-year champion dethroned off camera, but that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Finn, can I ask, this Little Caesar, is this just leading up to a joke where Little Brutus stabs him in the back?
I was thinking more like he was going to deliver everyone pizzas, but okay.
Well, I mean, I hadn't thought of Little Brutus before, but I feel like we have to.
It could be like a short version of Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
I feel like, you know what? Well, what I'll probably have to do is have Quentin Quinn set up a meeting or a press conference on the steps of the Senate to present Little Caesar with the Minis Championship, surrounded by all the other Minis. On the Ides of March.
How'd you just stab him?
I think we're a bit away from the Ides of March.
The Ides of March Madness? Oh my god.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That is
I was gonna ask, is Little Brutus what Dick Bowers calls his Dick Bowers?
Little Brutus.
Oh my god.
No.
Probably.
Calls him the Slides of March.
Ned's just howling right now.
I love it.
What'd you guys think of the Minis Battle Royal? Actually, you know, that was honestly, for night 1, that was the last thing that I did. And I will say, it was at the end of the night. I spent all day on the ladder match that we'll get to here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Battle Royal, I was like, man, I got to put this thing together. I was like, I'll keep it short. I'll just throw something up there. And I actually went a little bit longer than I expected to. And by the end of it, I was like kind of cackling. And that's usually when I'm having the most fun, is when I'm just making myself laugh with whatever the heck I'm.
Mm-hmm.
So I had fun with it. I mean, you know, it's obviously just a thing. Like, nobody had any skin in that game, and it was just something to have some fun with. But I thought it was a cool way to start things off.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun little match, you know. I really wish Mini Morbid would get his title back. You know what to do, Vinny.
I did not know you were such a Mini Morbid stan.
Hey, he's been around for years. How can I not be a fan?
Yeah.
He's one of the longest tenured XWF roster members.
Exactly.
The only thing I found a bit disappointed about the mini Rumble was there was no like mini McFly or anything like that. No kind of like Back to the Future reference. But apart from that, still great. Like really fun short match.
I should have thought of that. I didn't think of that any way of tying it in. But like I said, I think had I spent like a decent amount of time on it, I probably would have thrown in some more stuff like that. But like I said, I mean, this was like literally probably 10 minutes before the show itself was posted. Like that's when I was writing this thing.
That makes
Well,
sense.
depending on who you ask, having a minis battle royal at all is kind of a blast to the past. So I think it works thematically.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Fair enough.
You're right. It is a reminiscent of a bygone era.
Yeah. But that said, I did unsubscribe from the network after Mini Morbid lost. I'm fucking outraged.
Yeah. Ned didn't watch the
Well,
rest of the night
obviously,
one.
Nobody
I
saw
watched
that
the rest of
coming.
the
I mean,
Relentless. I just wrestled. I wrestled my match, and that's all I saw. I don't watch the fucking show at all.
Just like as soon as you wrestle this match, just like that's it. Fuck it, I'm out of here. I can't stand this shit anymore.
I
wore a
How you
black
doing, Mini Morbid?
armband with Mini Morbid's face. But
All right.
is Mini Morbid gonna be my Colt Cabana? Like I'm gonna have a huge promo, like because he got fucked by the company, and then years later I'm gonna be eating muffins and angry at him.
look, I think
Just be talking about how Mini Morbid shares a bank account with his mother.
That tells you all you need to know about Mini Morbid.
We have spent so much time on this stupid match.
yeah. I think we've already killed it. We've beaten it into the ground like a midget.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude.
Oh.
So anyway, we have our next match here: Elijah Martin versus Money Oswald. Fast-paced one-on-one. The ending featured a low blow to Money Oswald that eventually went to a back and forth, trying to lock in the billion-dollar dream. But eventually, Elijah managed to slip out, hit the prologue, and get the 3 count.
I thought it was a good little match. This one was written by Jason Cash, so I don't think Cash has written a ton of matches for us, but I think he does a good job.
You did a really good job. Like, honestly, very stacked for a match.
Yeah, I think he did both guys justice. I mean, he knows Martin pretty well. I think they worked together, so he knew his shtick. And obviously, as an Anarchy guy, he's pretty familiar with Big Money Oswald. I think it went pretty well. I believe I picked Elijah Martin to win, so I think I'm good there. And really, I mean, a low blow. What else can you do? I mean, Big Money Oswald is 9,000 pounds, made of solid diamonds, and can fly. So.
I can't remember who I picked for this match, honestly.
I believe I picked Money Oswald.
I definitely picked Oz. But Eli Martin, he showed up. He put on a great fucking performance. As you mentioned, Cash wrote the match. A lot of great back and forth. It's one of the better back and forth matches that we've seen that doesn't use a lot of like false finishes.
Yeah.
And that I really appreciate.
Well, I think what benefited him there, and and every match writer is a little bit different, but Cash had no idea who was winning. He wasn't told ahead of time who was winning.
Right.
So he kept it pretty even, right? Like he's one of those guys. He'll submit you a match, and then it'll have 2 different endings. And you just pick the right ending. So it works out that way. Some people like to know who's winning. Like if I assign somebody to write, they'll come to me and say, okay, well, they like to have the flow of the match kind of all working towards the ending. And I understand that as well. But sometimes it's more level if they just have no idea. So they're just making everybody look good, which is really what I want. I want everybody to look good in all the matches, win or lose. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, like it's not always going to be the same with every match writer, like how you said, like, Cash just like went at them and like, didn't like, even between the both of them, but it's just like, variety is just the spice of life, honestly. Like I just like seeing all the different like types of matches, flow together and just, be different and unique and really show off all the competitors and what they can do. And Cash did a really good job here. I was really entertained with the match.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I scanned it over. I was like, oh, this will work. Plugged it in there, and I think it was a good placement. I think it was the first serious match of the show. I think it worked really well as a segue match to the ladder match after it, and then yeah, I think it worked out really well. I think good big ups to Elijah Martin. That was a well deserved win, big money. Better luck next time, bud.
Yeah.
So speaking of that ladder match, we have the Madness Hollywood Walk of Fame ladder match between many, many, many Madness stars, such as Molly Barnes, Chris Mosh, Myra Rivers, Little Cash App, Sierra Silver, Barney Green, and of course, the one, the only, Darren Dangerous.
Woo!
So
Dangerous.
the finish of the match saw Myra Rivers and Sierra Silver on the top of the ladder, and Myra had managed to lift Sierra onto her shoulders, rebel bombed her off of the top of the ladder onto the perpendicular ladder bridge, and with the carnage done there, Myra just climbed to the top and grabbed the Oscar.
Yeah.
So, very, very chaotic, entertaining match.
This thing was a beast.
Yeah.
This is a monster of a match.
Insane match. Like, Darren Dangerous coming in with the forklift, like, perfection. I love that.
Mav brought up earlier, variety is the spice of life, and what's more variety than having the biggest stars of Madness all fighting over this Oscar? Myra Rivers, I was a little upset because she cut this promo earlier in the night.
Yeah.
And went on to grab the Oscar, Darren Dangerous obviously is going to be the second highlight for, you can't bring in like a forklift or something without having some. But obviously the main draw of this match was Little Cash App, because I can't say that name without laughing.
Little Cash App, our beloved.
I really thought you were going to...
partner MCC Monkey.
Gucci gang.
I really thought you were going to give me some props then with Dick Powers turning up in this match, but no, yeah, you're right. Little Cash App was definitely the highlight.
You're right. You're right. You should get some props, but not more than Little Cash App.
No, Little Cash App.
Props. Honestly, I was going to say though, that's the unsung booking, right? Because it was actually, that was very last minute too, because I was talking to Gravy actually about it, because I was like, man, I got to write this thing and it's ridiculous, and I put all these people in here, it's going to take me forever, and I was like kind of counting them, and I was like, man, I listed 14 names, like, and I just don't like that as a number to land on. Like, I'm a little OCD. I was like, I can't believe I didn't round it out to like 15. That would make me feel better. And Greg was like, well, in these AEW matches, they have the Joker. They have like the unknown mystery participant. I was like, he's like, you got Dick Powers, right? Throw him in there. I was like, you fixed it.
The Joker, the unknown participant, not the special guest star, Dick Powers.
Well, that's that name that I used. I'm not going to just completely rip off AEW. I just stole their match concept and everything about it.
Okay.
Yeah, just borrowing from them, It
was a great match though.
Yeah, it was fun.
You did really well.
No, there's a lot of fun spots in there, and I think everybody got a moment or two to shine. There were some storylines, and you kind of got to read all of Madness to see where everything's kind of tying together. That's kind of the beauty of an angled brand, is that it's really just a big story. But there's a lot, the Holden Ross stuff. He's like this monster who's tearing through the roster, and him and Hide Yamazaki have a thing going on, and Sierra Silver's a big name, and Myra Rivers is kind of new and climbing up the ranks. So this is kind of like her moment, right? So now she's arrived. So yeah, I mean, it's setting up a lot of cool stuff to kind of go forward on Madness with.
For sure. Definitely a good showcase for a lot of them, honestly.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody looked bad except for maybe Little Cash App. But I mean, he got to take a little nap in the splinters of the table.
Oh god.
Yep. He won in spirit. He won in our hearts.
Yeah, and if there's anyone who can bounce back, it's Little Cash App.
Exactly.
Those guys
If anyone can bounce, it's Little Cash App.
Oh god. Anyway, our next match here, Jenny Mist versus Lexi Gold in the Peeping Jane match. So, of course, the way to win was climbing onto the branch to peep into Lorraine Baines' room, but of course, they made it to the branch at the same time. So, what's the tiebreaker? Of course, it's by pinfall. They managed to fight their way into Lorraine's room, and Jenny Mist managed to hit the missed opportunities onto Lexi Gold right on top of the vanity, and she got the 3 count that way. So that was certainly a match. This poor Stip. Oh god.
Tell you one thing.
I think it was done well for the Stips being what they were. I think this one Mist actually wrote this match too.
Okay.
So I think it worked out all right. Yeah, well, it's funny though because, and I don't know how much the stipulation was run by either one of these people to begin with, because then Mist picked the match to write, but then writing to me saying, "What is this stip? How do I do it?" And like as anybody who listens to the last podcast will know, like I didn't have any fucking idea.
Oh god.
So that's where I said, look, just get them both inside the bedroom and do a pinfall in there because I don't know. So, so that's what we rolled with.
Yeah, it worked out well in the end.
I was going to say before everybody got ahead of me that my favorite part about this match is that it turned into a match.
Right.
Ash Quinn showing up for the assist.
Yeah.
Love to see that.
Yeah, Ash is kind of back, and Ash and Jenny have history, so that makes sense. It's good timing.
Overall, really exciting match, very unique match. Obviously, just from the stipulation.
Mm-hmm.
And Jenny takes it, but Lexi's going to have her time in the sun at some point. Ned is 0 for 4 on predictions currently.
Hate to see it.
Well, when your strategy is just to pick whoever nobody else picked, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
That wasn't even my strat. I did it the one time with Buster Gloves, and Buster was wrong. Anyway.
I don't know.
We'll be getting to that in a while.
Jenny's very good. And look, Lexi Gold is good and is going to get better. That's what's exciting to me. Yeah. I like seeing people improve. I like seeing, looking back at where people started and where they ended up from. Guys like, Robert Maine or even our own Ned Kaye here and Maverick. And all of you guys, I mean, you take a look at your early stuff and where you're at today. I mean, that's exciting when you see what people become capable of.
Right, definitely. Just the growth is always fun to see, especially when you get to see them evolve firsthand. I prefer not to think about my first works, but I mean, I've gotten to a far better point, I would think.
Me and Ned and TK, we did that not so long ago, where we looked at our first RPs we ever did, and by God, by God.
Oh my God!
It's funny to me because for me, I'll go back to those first role plays and I'll go, oh, I was really proud of this, when I wrote it.
Yeah.
And now I'll write stuff that is way better than any of that garbage, and I don't like it. I'm like, what is this shit?
I'm in the same boat.
I remember
just
looking at the word count with that bar on the side. I'm just like, yeah, this is a few hundred words. I feel good about this post. And I'm just like, what, man? This doing numbers.
Look at all the views I'm getting.
Exactly.
I remember how weirdly prideful I was, and I still am, over how one of the most viewed RPs on the site was Robert Maine's third against me. And it was oh yeah, he demolished you because you're a noob. But he's
Can I I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna ruin that for you because the views are completely meaningless. They're
I know.
Just absolutely meaningless. People refreshing the page and random Google search hits and things like that. They mean nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, I am fully aware.
But you get to pretend you're secondhand famous for that. So I mean.
So anyway, yeah, Lexi Gold did great.
Jenny Mist
Love you,
Yeah.
Ned. Anyway, let's get to the next match. Though it was the main event, the triple threat tag team match between the Thugs, the Midnight Dolls, and them No Good Bastards. So, fast and furious match here, but the finish of the match was Dolly Waters and Vita Valentina working together with an Ode to Joy springboard uppercut into a German suplex on the big man, Bobby Bourbon, resulting in a 3 count, and the Midnight Dolls are the new tag champs.
Nailed it.
Yep.
What an upset.
No, it really. I mean, look, we know the Bastards didn't end up putting anything up, right? So
Yeah.
Right.
that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Wait,
But the
TK put
Thugs,
something
I
up,
will
didn't
tell
he?
you, the Thugs brought it. The Thugs brought it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right, for
um,
sure.
Just trying to keep it a little bit in kayfabe, boys.
okay.
Well,
Well,
I love Biff Tannen. I love Biff in this match.
that was actually, that was like probably the best part. I think getting that in there. And Mav, that was all you, right?
Yes, that was actually me. I wanted to add more to the match, but unfortunately, it was like really late when I was trying to write it. I'm just like, okay, let's try wrapping this up quickly as best we can. But I think I did a good job of like, just tried highlighting as many people as I could there.
Yeah, no, I think everybody got their shit in, as they say.
Mhm.
I think everybody looked good. I think, like we said, we're trying to keep it kayfabe. So I mean, you end up knocking off a legendary tag team in TK and Bourbon, the Thugs, who were like kind of always perennially there and in your face. They're taking JB's taking a little time off, so hopefully
Right.
he's enjoying his little vacation. I miss him because I just love booking that guy and I like writing his stuff because he's just always fun and goes with the flow.
For sure.
But yeah, new tag team champions, Vita Valentine and Dolly Waters. Just a fun pairing. Really, really great, solid writers, and I'm excited to see how long they can hold it together before egos collide.
Oh, no.
The Midnight Dolls explode.
Hopefully they're in it for the long haul together.
It could be, we usually see tag team champions like last a really long time. We don't have, the strongest tag team division in the world. It's usually like full of really strong handlers decide to work together and go dominate for a little while. So,
Right.
but it's always fun, and I think this pairing's really cool, and I like the characters and I like the handlers. So I mean,
For sure.
I think it was a great match to end night one.
Yeah, and like you said, Vinny, they just had like this great, like really natural chemistry together. It just like really melds well with their work, and like honestly, I really can't wait to read more of their work because like it's that good, honestly.
How many of you guys have worked with either one of the handlers before?
I believe.
I've worked with Dolly like a lot.
Yeah, I think I've worked with Dolly a couple times too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the character, the handler.
Right.
I've worked with
But-
Vita a bunch. I don't think I've worked with Dolly. I've been against her.
Mm. Yeah, I think I worked with Dolly's handler when they were still handling Muddy Waters.
Right. Okay. And then there was, they have a couple iterations. They all have several different characters. I'm not going to yank them all out of the closet, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they're both fun guys to work with, and they're very creative minds. They're very good writers, and it's easy when you have somebody that you can bounce stuff off of that's willing to work with you. And sometimes you run across people who just kind of are set in their ways, and it makes it difficult. Neither one of these guys are like that. So I'm sure it was great in the war room with them together, bouncing ideas off of each other and just going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Vita's great. Vita is incredibly creative and just great at revitalizing the character, revitalizing the character whenever.
Oh,
Eat shit, Gator. And Dolly also intensely creative. Like for me, the chemistry is kind of implied. It's going to be there.
Right.
I do want to say what?
No, go ahead.
I do want to say, I think the Thugs at some point are going to get those tag titles. Too much good work at some point. Maybe not against the Dolls. The Dolls are hot. They're going to get a lot of, I don't know. I think they're going to get a lot of time with those belts. And my only hope is once the egos collide, once the Midnight Dolls explode, is that they call the match 2 minutes to midnight.
Oh, no, we got to write that down. Somebody write it
No,
down.
like
Write that down. Write that down.
Oh, I think you're
Yes,
absolutely right. I think you're right about the thugs, though. It's got to happen eventually. Those guys, look, JB stepped it up in those promos for Relentless. That was some of his best stuff. So
for sure. And of course, as you said, JB taking some time off. Come back soon, JB. We will miss you, and hopefully the Thugs will be right in line for a tag title shot as soon as he gets back. But in the meantime, we head over to night 2, and we start off the match with Jerry Vaden versus Marf in a 2015. Yes, we're going to the future, back to the future, in a Hill Valley Town Square race. This match ended with Marv hitting the sway, the Canadian Destroyer pile driver, on Jerry Vaden on the concrete, bleeding heavily, and as such, Marv was able to win by a casual stroll as he completed the lap.
well, I mean, look. These guys are they've both been around the block, and now they've been around another block. So they did what
There
they
you
came
go.
to do.
I hate
Marf
this thing.
Swayzens. The guy was the extreme champ. The guy's battle worn and tested. That's why he was my pick, and that's why so far it's a clean sweep for Vinnie Lane.
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun match, a really nice big spot, to end off the match and, get us started for night 2. And honestly, I enjoyed it, for what it was.
So I think it was a cute little match. It worked out really well, and it was two fun characters, and I mean, it was a good way to start off a second day. Absolutely.
Yeah, Marf coming out like looking like a beast in the match as well, which he needs
Yeah,
and deserves.
Yeah. He has. He's really hung in there. He's done a lot of good stuff. Another guy who is leaps and bounds improved from when he first came in. So I mean, Marf's a fun guy. He's a good guy to talk to, and his writing's really solid. So I'm glad to see him get a nice pay-per-view win over an established name. So I mean, good for you, Marf.
Marf
right.
puts in the work. It's always good to see it pay off.
Did anybody pick Jerry? Did anybody predict Jerry to win that one?
I believe we all picked Marv.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
All right. So our next match on the card is Latina Submission Machina versus Michael Graves in the alternate 1985 Hill Valley Town Square Brawl. Very back and forth match here, but it ended basically via knockout with the two of them getting to their feet, and then Graves just grabbed the son by the hair and just kneed her right in the face. KO 1, 2, 3. Michael Graves is your winner by pinfall. Your thoughts?
Well, we'll go with someone else first. Gator, why don't you tell me what you thought?
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
Amazing. Ned, your thoughts?
Thunder Knuckles is back on the podcast.
That's why he introduced himself as British TK.
Exactly.
It is uncanny the ability of Gator to quote neutral response on a fucking dime. Holy shit.
I mean, hey, if you're gonna quote something, it might as well be a classic,
Yeah, gotta, yeah. Rest in peace, dislikes on YouTube. Anyway, So LSM, always love to see her. Great action. Graves eventually takes it, with the knee to the face, as mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Graves. I love seeing Graves win because Michael Graves is such a weird-ass character.
He is.
I think a perfect matchup in many ways for these two to square off. And I was happy with the conclusion. I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, very entertaining back and forth, as I said. Michael Graves has honestly really been on a tear, especially after winning Star of the Month and just get involved in all different kinds of stuff and his stories, really stepping it up. Honestly, just really funny guy, really funny handler, really funny stories. Just I love reading more of his work, and I can't wait to see what he goes with from here.
No, absolutely. I mean, look, both of these guys are highly talented. They've won a lot. You could have probably flipped a coin on this one because I feel like they're really even skill-wise and creativity-wise. They're both always really fun to read. I'm just glad that in the end, the victim of the revenge porn ended up losing to the evil perpetrator.
Of
because
course.
It's just so much more like real life.
Exactly. Yeah. Hate to see it.
You love to see realism in the media that you intake, especially when it makes you really sad.
Exactly. It's like Old Yeller.
Oh, God. All right, so our next match on the card was Bam Miller versus a surprise opponent in a Save the Clock Tower match. The surprise opponent was none other than James Raven. Ned, what are your thoughts on James Raven being the surprise opponent, given you were the only one of us who didn't know that was the case?
I think it's great. I love seeing James Raven come along. You know, the prophecy has to represent, even though it's fucking dead and gone. So,
So our match.
The little birdie got knocked out of the nest.
yeah, the little birdie's back, and he's pecking for vengeance. And I love to see James Raven. He's one of my favorite writers whenever it comes to just pure material.
Of course.
He's been doing great work in other feds, if I remember correctly, and now he's back.
So, of course, our match ended here today with a hoverboard assisted Flair the Raven onto Bam Miller, and then proceeding to smash the two ends of the cable together, resulting in giving him the win. However, the Gigawatts failed to make it to Marty the DeLorean as Tommy Slavino hijacked the post-match scene in order to revive Miss Fury and become Franken Fury now, of all things. But definitely a surprise for all of us.
Plot twist.
Uh-oh. But yeah, really fun match. I will never get tired of seeing James Raven matches, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I do love Raven.
Look, I mean, the XWF is home for James Raven. It's, obviously the guy's one of the top ever. I always say he's probably one of the three best role players I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's phenomenal, and he's doing the project with Chronic Chris Page, the WGWF, just fired right up, just dropped their first show yesterday. So best of luck to them over there. Hopefully we see more of Raven in the XWF. That door is always open and always has been, at least while I've to hold it open. So, yeah, I mean, great to see him back on the biggest show of the year, one of the biggest names we've ever had. So, unfortunately, Bam Miller had to feel the brunt of that. But this is a match that Bam really wanted. He told me privately that it was a dream match for him, so I'm glad he got to have that.
Yeah, he had a really strong showing too. I was really happy that he really brought it for this match, and I mean, resulted in a really entertaining showing. So I mean, hats off to him too.
Yeah, 100%. Bam was really game, did a really great job. I think at the end of the day, I mean, not very many people beat Raven, so there's certainly nothing to be sad about there. So I think they both look great.
Mm-hmm. And next match now is our Super Continental title match between Peter Vaughn and Ned Kaye in the Blast from the Past store in downtown Hill Valley. So I was in charge of writing this match, and it ended with, surprise, surprise, Bam Miller again, running some interference and giving a low blow onto Ned Kaye as he tried hopping onto the counter, which resulted in Vaughn managing to hop up, hit the Revenge off of the counter, hitting and cracking the floor onto some glass shards too, resulting in giving him the win and a title retention there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, look, I got to hand it to Ned Kaye for ruining my streak of correctly predicted matches.
I was going in there. I was about to pull it off, but then I was like, man, I really don't want Vinny's corrections to be all I can't fucking speak. Predictions to be all correct. I was like, that cannot happen. So I threw the match. No,
Peter, very petty. I applaud you.
Thank you. Peter is a great opponent, great champion. I don't have any shame in losing to Vaughn, but I do think I brought a little bit of heat at the very least. Match was great. Really loved all the back and forth. I think the setting was perfect for this kind of match.
Mm-hmm.
British TK, what do you think?
I have strong feelings about this, actually. Yeah, I know. Well, because I was like deeply involved in this match as well, and like because I love Ned, obviously. I love everything he writes. I love Vaughn. I think he's one of the best writers I've seen, like in a few years. Ned's your second RP was probably one of your better ones, like ever. I think that absolutely incredible RP. Like how you tied everything in, like you're struggling with emotional baggage and where to go from that, and it was perfect. Loved it. But yeah, Vaughn is just a fucking beast as well, and his RPs are great, and like they flowed like really consistently, really well. The match was really well done. Van Miller being a cunt, loved that. So yeah.
It leaves the door open for a rematch if we ever want to go back and explore that.
Exactly, yeah.
Round 2.
And I think more importantly, it gives me, it gives Ned a good groundwork, because staying competitive in this match and Van Miller, running interference, Ned still looks like a fucking beast here.
Right.
So, with the plan to go back to Warfare to start putting the work in, because you've got Cash on Anarchy, you've got Keto going to Savage and staying there. That means I'm I'm writing 3 fucking role plays cycle again. So I'm gonna have to get into gear. I'm gonna have to dig deep, but I have a great place to start from. One thing I want to point out, and this is going to be such a strange thing to talk about, it'll only take me a minute, is I composed this message that accidentally got into the XWF media chat because I wasn't paying attention. I was like, oh, it's probably not my best work, these 2 RPs, but I'm really proud of them. They probably won't get the most likes. And I thought, at first I was like, oh, I made this to post it in the trilogy chat that we have behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And then when I first read it and I realized I did something wrong, I was like, oh, I guess it's in the XWF main chat. But no, it was only in the media chat. So I double fucked up. But then a certain handler used a good portion of their characters to inflate the like count on my 3rd roleplay, which is the one that I thought was the weakest. And I really wanted my 2nd one to happen. My 2nd roleplay the cycle, possibly one of the best things I've ever written, has Keto and Theo liking it. And over here with 60 likes is this other one that I'm not ashamed of. It's just wow. It's funny how things shake out. Oh.
RP3 is got to be the one we nominate for RP of the month. Got to keep that.
Got so many likes. I mean, we can't, not.
You can't ignore it.
The pops. Exactly.
Even in the face of blatant voter fraud.
We checked the ballot.
But unfortunately, Ned, you made a really good, solid run at it, and I did predict that you were going to win. I thought we would see a new champion, but my goodness, Peter Vaughn he's a force of nature, and he really should be up there for one of the next uni contenders if we can ever get the SuperCon off of him. Actually, in the WGWF show, I did take a peek at it, and Peter Vaughn just defeated Mark Flynn over there in their main event.
Ooh.
Absolute madman. Well done. Hats off to you, Vaughn.
Yeah. So I mean, that's that right there. I mean, it's got to give him a little bit of something to run on. So maybe we'll see that. But that was a great way to wrap up the 2nd day of Relentless. I think that's 2 solid days.
Actually, there is one more match. The main event, the Extreme title match between Big Fish, Atara Raven, Goth, and the Ringmaster in the Biff Tower Rooftop Brawl. And the ending featured Atara Themis, riding an entire sign into Big Preesh and Goth. And Goth manages to escape, but unfortunately, Big Preesh was the one counted out as Atara just, gave the final FU to Goth as the count hit 10 with a Judgment of Paris. And Addie smashed. She is the new Extreme Champion.
Big Preesh.
Unfortunately, the Cinderella story came to an end. You hate to see it.
So, I wrote this match as well. I'm okay with it. I think I could have done a lot better, but something I did do, because I knew Big Preesh was losing, so what I did is that I made Preesh go back in time, and the Biff Casino is now Preesh's Casino.
I love that part.
Just to give him a bit of a consolation prize.
He's very rich now.
Yeah.
The part where Heather just went, "Wait, this is how time travel works in Back to the Future," and then Pip just chimes in, "I will cut you." I'm just like, I died. Oh my god.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. It was good, a fun match. I think I could have done a lot better. I think I should have just fattened it out a bit. But I hate writing wrestling matches. I like writing stupid shit. So, yeah.
But you're very good at it.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, look. I mean, I think we all picked Ataro, right? I mean, we kind of expected. I mean,
We all unanimously picked Addie to smash.
so I mean, look, she's a monster. She really turned it on for the big X title comeback. I mean, she was the X champion once before, but it was that was during the Fuzz cash in, so it was kind of like, eh. But this one, completely earned, completely deserved. Great job, Atara. I mean, beating Goth and beating Rampage is one thing, but you beat Big Preach, and that is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
True feat on her end.
The Ravens walk out of Relentless with 2 big wins. Birds of a feather. You'll love to see it.
Birds, I get it.
funny joke that Ned made. Thanks, Lane. I love the encouragement.
You're welcome.
Very good. No, very, very solid match. Great new champion. At least somebody won a title on night 2, even though Ned couldn't do it.
Yes. So now,
tried.
so anyway, we hop over from night 2 to night 3, and we go over to our first match, Finn Coon versus Buster Gloves in Are You Yella I Quit match. A very brutal affair. Shout out to the match writer who was in charge of that one, as the match ended with Buster Gloves tossing Finn Coon up into the air, setting up for a pop-up European uppercut. Finn manages to reverse it into a flying armbar, and Buster apparently said he quit, but rumors are circulating around saying Buster might not have been the man to have said it. Ooh.
Oh, intrigue.
But yes, the winner declared for that match was none other than me. Feeling good about that win. Buster really brought it, honestly. I mean, I felt like my work is starting to really, move up in quality a whole lot. And I mean, honestly, that win, which might have been potentially by dubious means, who knows, tune into Warfare to find out. Honestly, that just felt like, a good morale boost, honestly, just seeing where I'm at. And, Buster Gloves, hell of a talent. He's going to go far here. I hope he's in it for the long haul, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Mav. I don't read your shit, so it was probably good.
Wow, thanks.
Buster, I think, Buster came from Level Up, and I don't think he intended on staying permanently, but I at least not originally, but I think he might hang around longer than anticipated. And I think that probably is complimentary to you, Mav. I think he had a really good time working with you. Mm-hmm. And I think the match did it justice. I think everybody did a really good job. And I think, honestly, it can be difficult when you're in a position of here's a new guy who shows up and is really good versus somebody that we're kind of familiar with and we've seen before. A lot of times the recency bias kicks in when you're judging and you just sort of automatically lean towards the new guy that you've never seen before. Right. So for you to overcome even that kind of unconscious kind of bias, that just shows that you did a really good job, because Buster was solid. So I didn't judge this match, but I know that you must have done a very good job to overcome what I read of Buster Gloves.
Thank you. And yes, if you liked seeing any of the content there, then you can be sure to pop in for the end of October when I face Buster Gloves again on the Tara Phoenix Charity Cruise. Nice little pop in there.
Oh,
yeah. Wow. Tara Cruise too. That's right.
That's right.
I want to say, as the one advocate of Buster Gloves, that he was robbed. He was clearly robbed of this victory. There was foul play. Here's what I'm going to say. Night 1, robbed. Mini Morbid. Night 3, robbed. Buster Gloves. Night 2, I was not robbed. I lost fairly.
Robbed. Big Preach.
Yes, Big Preach. We had three cases of theft, 3 counts of theft on this show.
Too
Anyway.
soon. Too soon.
Oh man. Big.
Big tree. Anyway, Maverick, great showing, really brought it. A great match that came out of it. A great way to start off the final night of affairs. And Buster, he's got another chance to come at you. We'll see. We'll see how he takes it.
Mm-hmm. Gator, any thoughts on the match?
No.
All right. Our next match then, Centurion versus Bartholomew Lichter in a Mad Dog Collar Saloon match. And the ending of the match featuring Centurion catching Bartholomew Lichter for a 1,000-mile slam through the bar, getting the 3 count on his most hated enemy of Team Maga. And honestly, just really chaotic match. We'll have to see that, honestly.
Yeah, these guys are. I mean, they're locked in an eternal struggle. They're each other's nemesis, so it's fun. It's fun anytime they get together. So this was no different. Glad to see Sent pick up the W. I think Sent, like we all do, I think probably suffers a little bit when he takes a couple of losses. So I'm glad he got a nice win over Unknown Soldier, and now he's got a nice win on Relentless over Boots Lichter. So that's got to take the sting out of the golf loss a little bit, right? So I mean, that's good. Glad to see Sent on top. Big fan of you, Centurion. We're both old men. I respect you.
Of course.
Anytime the alt-right loses is a win for me. So that's my thoughts on this match.
Oh,
my man.
QAnon's gonna get you.
Oh no. Is that the name of Lichter's finisher, the Q drop?
It probably is now. I don't know.
Okay. I love seeing Centurion. Love seeing him win. I've worked with him in the past. He's a really chill guy. I'm happy about it. The prophecy was foretold.
Shut up.
Oh, Gator has an opinion.
Oh, yeah. Ned needs to shut up. I mean,
I have to draw it out of him.
I like Centurion sometimes, and I hate the alt-right too, and I don't understand American politics, so I'm happy they lost, I guess.
We don't either.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
Does Boots Lichter have a finisher called Build That Walls of Jericho?
Oh man, see, we're coming up with some really good stuff. We don't get enough credit for how much we help build other people's characters.
They better be taking some notes right now, honestly.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, I do know that Team MAGA are currently taking a small break and it won't be answering any questions at this time.
Oh,
not with the fake news media.
Hear all about Team MAGA on Fox News tonight at 8 p.m. Central.
Live from Tucker Carlson.
Oh, don't
if you want to know what really happened in the match, just ask them on Truth Social. They'll tell you how the match really did.
Oh my God. So, our next match, the Anarchy Championship between Edward and Jason Cash in an I Hate Manure match. The two of them having a proverbial tug of war, trying to figure out who would be going into the manure first. Eventually, it resulted in Edward giving him a choke slam right into the manure. Edward, still your strongest warrior, still your double champ, and I was the only one who predicted Edward to win.
You are. You were right.
I feel very vindicated right now.
To be fair, I said that Edward might lose the match because he loves Manure that much, and the first opening line is Edward immediately tries to run towards the wagon filled with Manure. So I don't think I lost then.
We should do it as a walk for Gator.
It took Taco to get into him and give him a little pep talk and get him away from Manure.
I love Taco. That gif of that pig rolling down the hill made my night. I love that.
Taco sacrifice will be remembered.
He's an unsung hero of the XWF. He doesn't get enough attention.
We love our director of craft services.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
No, this was fun. I penned this one as pretty much anytime there's an Anarchy match on a big show, it's probably me. And you know what was funny about it is because I kept forgetting the stip. So I was like writing a match, and I'm like, hell yeah, this would be a great finish, like 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring, and I'm like, oh right, he's got to get dropped into shit. And then I would just sigh, like, man, I hate this, but all right, let's do it. So,
As you do.
yeah, figured out fun ways to get it out there. I think we made it so it was kind of organic, kind of like manure, and didn't feel as forced as it may otherwise have done. But yeah, I mean, great job by Edward. Really, really in the age of Edward at the moment. Edward and Edward Jr. are now booked in the main event of the upcoming Anarchy, and Edward's apparently an old flame has shown up to come after his 24/7 shinny on the forums. Ex girlfriend Edwina.
We all have some problems in our lives. Hopefully, Edward just manages to get through it and still becomes the strongest warrior we know him to be.
The strongest warrior, the strongest son, the strongest ex-wife. You love to see it.
The strongest family.
Yeah.
Ooh. I
don't know
really
anybody else. Not many men have went and gotten themselves frozen for 10,000 years to get away from their wife, but and it didn't work.
Tracked him down to the ends of the earth.
Just a note as well. I always forget like Edward's like theme song, and I go to click on it. It's like, oh, it can't be that bad, and it literally is like the worst song ever. Like
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Is that Dad?
Yeah, that's Dad.
It's not. I actually considered putting that on my kids' like alarm clock just because of how awful it is.
It's like, turn this shit off, slap.
It's like throwing on Seabat for anybody.
Oh god.
Oh god, that's my rhythm. Shut the fuck up, Ned. Don't diss Seabat.
I'm not allowed to.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where the Anarchy main event goes from here. I thought Jason Cash was going to take it, but you know, we all have our bad days, and we lose to cavemen sometimes. So better luck next time, Jason Cash. I know he ain't going anywhere. He's going to be right back in it.
Of course, can't hold him down for long. So, our next match, the television championship, Bobby Bourbon versus Dick Powers in a Cavalry and Indians match, with special guest referee Michael J. Fox as Seamus McFly, which ended with Dick Powers hitting the "You're Gonna Go Far, Kid" from the top of a falling tree, and an extremely wounded Michael J. Fox manages to somehow convulse his arm enough to hit the 3 count, and Dick Powers is the new television champion.
Well, the man has Parkinson's. What was he doing there?
Oh no!
Honestly.
Oh, how did he play guitar as well?
There's definitely nobody cleared this with the ADA. It's all illegal. You can't do that.
Punish Dick Powers. Comes out of here and fulfills the strawberries and dreams he's been having since he was a boy. There was no reason to turn this into a boner right here.
Oh my god.
Is this Dick's first title?
This is Dick's first title, yeah.
That's amazing. Dick's been around a while.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
But he is a massive jobber, so.
Can we get a photo?
Jobber is the television champion, ladies and gentlemen.
Can we get a photo of Peppa's My First Album, but it's Dick Powers' My First Title?
What I think is the highlight of the night, though, is that like Dick didn't just win the TV title. The Native Americans also beat off the cavalry because of Dick Powers. Truly a hero of the people. Even though apparently he cooked the entire village, according to this write-up.
Yeah. He's an
We're gonna
unsung hero of the American West. Look, this is how the manifest destiny that sent the United States westward during the California Gold Rush could not have happened without Dick Powers.
Manifest Dixtony.
Manifest Chestiny.
Yeah.
Manifest Destiny.
And look,
God.
in a few decades, when Dick Powers Elementary School gets canceled and renamed because of all the Native Americans he slaughtered, we'll still
Whoa!
remember.
No, all right, that's getting cut.
He cocked
No,
them. He
Oh,
cocked
hell no.
them.
he had sex with them, all of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
Everybody's 1% Dick Powers now.
he cocked the men and
but
the
you're not
women.
Genghis Khan, man.
Oh
What?
shit!
He cucked all of them.
Oh, now I got to go do my 23andMe again.
God damn.
Jenny, you don't want to do that. You're gonna find Dick Powers.
Or maybe I do want to.
Ooh.
So anyway, we come to our main event, the runaway train match for the Universal Championship between Ryan Keto and Mark Flynn. Holy crap, what a match!
What
Two of them went back and forth, just put each other through hell on a literally burning train that was going towards certain oblivion. And with seconds left on the clock, the two of them were trading submissions between the Heaven's Treasure and the Fujiwara armbar. And eventually, with just only a few seconds on the clock, Ryan Keto just couldn't hold up for too much longer, just had to give up. And Mark Flynn is your new XWF Universal Champion. And allow me to say, it is goddamn time.
Yeah, Mark Flynn is an old hand. I mean, Mark Flynn was in the XWF before I was, before Gator was.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and he never got there before. He never won the big one before. So big ups to Mark Flynn. Big ups to Ryan Keto, because both these guys were phenomenal. The match was phenomenal. It did them both justice.
Mm-hmm.
It was everything he needed it to be. It was a great main event. It was a great Universal title match, and it was two really, really great role players and characters who got everything that they needed to get. And now we're under heel leadership once again, the evil Mark Flynn. So it'll be fun to see where we go from here.
And of course, after the match, an angle that has been going on for all of Relentless was a series of attacks on backstage workers, be it Steve Sayers, Tiggo Biddies, a whole bunch of people, and it finally resulted in Theo Price being first locked backstage, and then eventually Jenny Mist and the returning Chris Chaos making their way onto the train and spearing the lights out of Ryan Keto. So definitely going to be some follow-up on that.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chris Chaos is a former Universal Champion. Chris Chaos has done it all. Good. It's always good to see Chris back in it. I think Chris Chaos, when he's at 100%, is really, really good. And I think him and Ryan is going to have a really good run. And I don't know, either one of those guys could beat either one of them. And getting Chaos back into the main event scene gives us a more robust main event picture. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely going to be great to see.
Always good to see Tiggo Biddies in a segment also.
We need more Tiggo Biddies exposure.
Well, I mean, that's it, right? That's the whole show.
Yeah, amazing.
So, what were you guys' thoughts? Final thoughts on the show? What's your grade for Relentless? Did you have a favorite moment? Did you have a favorite day, 1, 2, or 3? Let me get your report card on it.
Gator, you go first.
Oh, I mean, just on to Matt Flynn versus Ryan Keto. Like, first of all, terrible night for Trilogy. None of them won the matches, which was sting a bit. But it's like, just about Matt Flynn and Keto. Like, I read all the RPs like twice and loved them all. And like I said last time on the podcast, I'm like the biggest Matt Flynn Matt there is. I love Matt Flynn, but I've never thought a win for him would be so bittersweet, because honest to God, I didn't want to see Keto like lose the title.
Yeah.
Like, it's such like a bittersweet ending to Relentless, and then Chaos has to come and fuck shit up like a dickhead. But no,
Mark Flynn finally won the big one, but at what cost?
Exactly. But yeah, that match was it was an incredible match, and like the entire show was great. Like even with the amount of shit we gave the Stips, like all the writers like knocked out of the fucking park. So yeah,
a literal mountain of shit in one match at least.
Yeah.
A+, 2 thumbs up. Well done to everybody.
Great. What about you, Ned? What do you think?
It was just a great culmination of the stuff that makes the XWF the XWF. I would say night 3 is probably my favorite, but it's really close with night 2.
All right. Well, I won't take that personally as the guy who was in charge of night 1, but you know, there's history there with Chaos because if you remember, Chaos was his protege when he was Corporate Chaos not that long ago.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if he wants Ryan Keto as a way to go after Theo, but maybe he's going to have to go through the other trilogy members first in order to get there. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna. So honestly, top to bottom, just banger. Like every night had something going for it. Just like like all the matches were great. The Madness matches really helped Night 1 get off to an energetic start. Tag match was really fun to read through, just like looking back through it. The title match is honestly really great. Absolute classic of a universal title match on night 3. Night 2, just some really good back and forth stuff. Just like honestly, like I don't think you could really just single out a weak point. Like it honestly just like makes me say too that like it's really hard picking out a favorite night because like if I do that, then that means I technically say the other 2 nights are inferior to it. I just can't do that, honestly.
No, it's totally fine. Look, anytime you have that kind of a universal title match, and that uni title match might be the single best match that we've had in the Fed the entire year. So I mean, that's going to carry it alone. I mean, it's like I said last time, it's the main event for a reason, right?
Yeah,
you got the biggest stakes, you got the biggest players, and man, I mean that was a great match. So I mean, I can't think of a better way to put a cap on that show. I mean, just hats off to everybody.
For sure. Yeah, I have the narrow edge night 3, but it's just like, set up a lot of good stuff. And now we're on the road to Bad Medicine, cap off the year strong. And we're going to look to usher in 2023 soon in a brand new year of XWF content. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, and a beautiful poster that we already have up so far for that our buddy Gator here. Graphic arts are his passion, and he just shows it more and more each day.
Love the crap banners.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me while we pick this show apart. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. We're gonna get back together here in a couple of weeks, and we'll go over the newest bookings for Warfare, Savage, Madness, and Anarchy when we get back together. I don't know, probably around 2 weeks from now. That sounds good to everybody?
Something like that, yeah.
Right. What was that third one you said?
What's that?
What was that third one you said? That doesn't sound like a real show.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Did he say Madness? Yeah.
When one in one ear and out the other.
You guys are just
what the fuck is Madness?
The television champion Dick Powers is on Madness.
I mean, hey, this is the same guy who came onto Anarchy and did not know what the fuck was going on. So I mean, like,
what the fuck's Anarchy?
Again, Ned Kaye and Gator have been on Anarchy.
We'll see you next time.
I have not been on Anarchy yet, so you can't use that against me. See you next time.
All right, the podcast is canceled. We're all going home. I hate all 3 of you. No, let's put a pin in it, everybody. We'll see you all again real soon. Thanks again for tuning in to the XWF podcast. And just in case anybody isn't sure or needs to hear it one more time, fuck you, Ghost Tank.
Woo!